All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you today on this lovely Saturday? Come on in. Hey now. Hey now. Everybody have a seat. We're going to go over some physical media news today, and I'm going to show you the Elm Street stuff first. I want to talk about that because there's really not much details on certain things, and I'll get into that. But we got some extremely exciting Arrow video announcements, in my opinion, and we got the artwork releasing for the Elm Street stuff in America. So we're gonna jump right into that, guys. We're gonna get right into it and get going. So let's look at this first. Here you go. Let's see if I can make this even bigger. Let's see. There you go, guys. Here it is. This is the limited edition Steelbook 4K Ultra HD plus digital code that's coming out. If you take a look at the artwork, you're seeing an image of Freddy that looks like it's from a teaser poster of Freddy vs. Jason on the front. I could be wrong, but I think that's what that is. The backside, you've kind of got like this image of Freddy from Part 4. The inside actually does show Freddy from Part 1 on the inside. You got him in the boiler room. Look, I'm going to give you guys my 2 cents on this. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited to own Elm Street on 4K. I've been asking for this for a long time. It's a step in the right direction. I have no doubt that the people are going to show out and support this release. But the people are speaking. I posted about this on my YouTube community tab. I posted about this on my own Instagram, and the people have spoken. They're not happy with the artwork on this. I personally don't think it's half bad. I mean, all considering, like, if you really look at this, this is the way I interpret this release. It looks like they're trying to do a play on an old school Warner VHS, but not technically in the way that they used to do the old Warner VHS tapes. But if you look on it, you've kind of got the red striping on the bottom, and it almost looks like an old VHS style box. Looks like you've got like crease marks and things on it like an old VHS would, but then you've got Freddy's claws going over the front of it. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, I personally think it could have been a hell of a lot worse. That's just me, but maybe I'm too sensitive about these things. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of negativity about this. So it is what it is. Like, everybody's got their opinion. I'm just giving mine, but I get it. We're accustomed now to getting some good looking stuff, and maybe this doesn't cut the mustard. With that being said, though, that is coming out. I want to say this right now. There is a pre-order link. I think it's for the Steelbook. If not, it's for the standard release. But there's a pre-order link already on Target.com we're going to look at. But let's see. Just this is what we have. A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 KUHD Steelbook packaging. Artwork for the collector's edition should be coming soon, which is the collector's edition that I got off of Zabi, which obviously we still haven't seen yet. So we're waiting on that. But here we go, guys. I actually think more people might be okay with this one. This one's a kind of a retro look. This is obviously the look of the A Nightmare on Elm Street VHS remaster that came out, and then the subsequent red case DVDs. This is the standard edition for that. It's the same thing, Warner Brothers. But I want to show you a difference on the other one. So it's Warner Brothers 4K, no Blu-ray, just the 4K and digital code. In terms of what features this has, probably nothing new. It's probably going to have the same features Infinifilm release had, which was the making of and everything like that on there. But I don't know. I actually think I do like that, in a sense that it's like, it reminds me of the way Paramount does their Friday the 13th stuff. It's always a little wonky, but the difference is with Paramount, I grew to really love that, right? I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I personally did kind of grow to love that kind of stuff with Paramount, because they always do wonky art for their releases. Like the red case 1-8 Blu-ray set that they did. There was 3 pictures of Jason from Part 7 and 1 from Part 2. Like, we could have swapped that up a little bit more. Obviously this is a retro art that they're doing. People ask, why don't they use the original poster art? The way I understand it is, the way Cliff actually described it to me, is the studios that are in charge of designing these things, the people that work there, he gave me the impression that it's not necessarily so much that they can't use it in a lot of cases, or they don't want to, but they think that it's just it's not going to attract people anymore. They got to make modern style art, which the irony with this is obviously technically retro, but I believe this is the one that's available on Target. You can go to Target.com and type in a Nightmare on Elm Street 4K. But I want to show you guys something real quick again. If you look on the Steelbook, and we don't have a release date for this yet, I don't think, an actual release date. But if you look at the Steelbook, look at the top right here. I think my mouse is right there. You can see the old school Warner Brothers logo on there. So I definitely think they were definitely going for an old school VHS style art on here. I think it's okay. I mean, maybe I'm, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's okay, guys. I mean, I understand it's not what people were probably wanting, or they were hoping for more. And I hear you. I mean, I hear you. I'm not going to argue with the people that say this is terrible. Get this out of here. But I think it's okay. And it could have been a lot worse, in my opinion, but that's what we got, guys. That's what we got. In terms of release date and special features, I'm not exactly sure what we have on that. So, again, we've got that release, and then we've got the A Nightmare on Elm Street standard slip release, which has the vintage remastered DVD/VHS art on the front. So, there's that. All right, guys. So, when we get more info on that in terms of release dates and stuff, you can come right back to Planet CHH, and we'll take care of you guys. Now, with that being said, Arrow had some pretty damn cool announcements. I want to talk about them. Some controversial announcements as well. But we're going to get into it, guys. So why don't we just do that right now? Let's do that right now. How's that sound? I thought so. I thought you'd be ready for that. Okay. Here we go, guys. So here's the overview from Arrow Video. We're going to break this down, guys. Exorcist II: The Heretic, which is a UK release only. We've got The Exorcist 3 on 4K, The Exorcist 3 4K with the Arrow Video Store slipcover. We have the Hellraiser sets getting re-released again, which I think it's basically a slipcover version. So I can't tell if that's... We'll look into it. Trick or Treat. This is interesting, guys. This is all over. This is UK, USA, and Canada. 4K of Trick or Treat. So the license for that was, Legendary gave them the helm for that on 4K. So we got 2 artworks on there. We'll get into that. And then we have a J-Horror Rising box set, guys. So why don't we dive right in? Let's look at the J-Horror box set. Presenting 7 of the most distinctive titles from Japan's turn of the millennium genre sensation. Unearth each remastered and packaged with a host of new and archival extras. So let me see if I can zoom in on this and we can look at the titles. But here, I'm going to zoom in on the picture right now. That way you guys can actually just see the names of the titles on here. Because I'm having some trouble with that. And they don't list it. Why don't they list the titles on here? Like I said, other than that, there's no extras listed on this at all. So maybe they don't have that yet. Anyway, moving on, guys. Trick or Treat. So check this out. This is Trick or Treat with the Arrow Store exclusive slipcover, which is basically the original theatrical poster, which I do like a lot, the theatrical poster quite a lot. We get a Trick or Treat poster. It's a 1-disc set. This probably has to go to the issuing with Friday the 13th on 09. People are like, why is there not a Blu-ray for that? The license for this movie is probably just as strict as the license for Friday the 13th 09. They're able to license a 4K remaster that they could put out. But in terms of the Blu-ray release of the movies, that is still probably under contract with Scream Factory right now. And that's just, like I said, that's a separate license. When they put out a release that has a Blu-ray and a 4K, it's typically because they get the license to put them out on both those formats using the same scan as well. That's why a lot of times the Blu-ray will have the 4K scan. It's a newly made Blu-ray that has they're licensing that scan. So in this instance, they maybe only legally can release their new scan that they're doing on the 4K disc itself. That's something that Cliff was talking to me about, and that's probably why they're able to get the license for some of these titles like Friday the 13th 09 and now Trick or Treat, which I think is great. Because, it's like, okay, we can only license a 4K transfer on a 4K disc. Let's do it. But the thing is, it's like for the people that aren't 4K yet, it's kind of a problem. Get ready for the scariest Halloween of your life with a sinister and darkly humorous world. Remember, always check your candy. It looks like we get a bunch of art cards and things like that. In terms of features, I don't think we have a listing for that yet. Trick or Treat again. Now, obviously, this is the version that you can get online and places like that. Like, you can get this through... you'll be able to get this through Amazon and Orbit DVD and all that, but you're going to get this slipcover. So if you don't want the theatrical poster slipcover, you can order it anywhere else. But if you want the theatrical poster slipcover, you're going to have to get it through Arrow, the video, their own store. So there's that. It looks like we get a booklet, we get the poster. Now, I want to keep something in mind. You see how on this version they show the Trick or Treat theatrical poster? You probably get that on both sides, okay? I just want you to know, like, they're probably just showing the reverse side because they're showing you the original art that they made for the 4K release. So, I mean, it's a reversible poster, and I like the booklet. The booklet's really cool with Sam's face on it. This is the Chatterer. So they're basically putting this back out with a slipcase version. Keep that in mind, guys, but this is a slipcase version of, and they're specific, the Chatterer slipcase. So this is probably close to the quality of the initial run, but maybe not as good. I mean, I can't imagine this is going to be better quality than the initial one that came out. But the features on that were insane, guys. There's a lot of features on that, and you're going to get the version of Hellraiser 4 that's part of that. And it's the same thing here, guys. You can get, you know, this version, which is a Blu-ray version set, and then the 4K version set, which if you missed out on this initially and then you weren't in love with the set that they came out with right after that, get this one more so than the other one. Like, this one's probably going to be like a side-loading box, which is kind of like the way the first one was, but the first one was like this extremely heavy box that was holographic, and it had little holes in it when you slide the pictures in. So this is probably just a side-loading slipcase version, which is kind of like the standard special edition versions. So just keep that in mind. I mean, this is going to be a high-quality release, but if you had the initial release that I got as well, I would highly pass on that, guys. All right, so check this out, guys. Next up, we've got Exorcist 3 on 4K. So I want to see if I can find something on here. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. I love this movie. This is obviously a UK exclusive, so if you want the theatrical poster slipcover artwork, you have to get it from there. But what's interesting is, let me see if they have it on this release. All right, guys, so on Dawn of the Disc, they actually have this. This is the thing that's interesting to me. Let me read this to you guys. Theatrical cut 4K UHD, 4K restoration of the theatrical cut of Exorcist 3 presented in 4K, yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing that's interesting to me. Death Be Not Proud, The Making of The Exorcist 3, an in-depth 2016 documentary divided into 5 chapters. 1, A Wonderful Time, an interview with producer Dave Carville and members of the supporting cast and production crew. Chapter 2, Signs of the Gemini, an actor with Brad Dourif. Chapter 3, The Devil in the Details, an interview with the production designer Leslie Dilley, and more. Chapter 4, Music from the Padded Cell, an interview with composer Barry Dvorak. Chapter 5, All This Bleeding, interviews with about the additional shoots and special effects, and the Exorcist vintage interviews. I don't remember that being on the Scream Factory set. I don't remember that being on the Scream Factory set. As a matter of fact, let me go look. I think I saw that the Scream Factory release does have those interviews. So I don't know if there's going to be anything on this one that I wouldn't have on the Scream Factory one. So maybe I will pass on this. Because it's the same thing with the Legion cut. You know, it's a high definition with the additional scenes put in that are very poor quality, but they did actually at least put those in when the Scream Factory Blu-ray came out. So that's something, if you just like the presentation of the Arrow version more, you can get that. But in terms of special features, it looks like the Scream Factory release matches it. And I don't know if this is a new scan on the movie. That's something else I could have to find out. I'd have to find out at a later date. I'd have to find out at a later date for sure. But I do love that movie. I recommend getting it on 4K for sure. All right, guys, and this one was interesting. Exorcist 2: The Heretic. So, Exorcist 2: The Heretic, obviously a very, very controversial entry. They're doing a collector's Blu-ray for this. This is not a 4K from what I can see. Let me make sure. It does not look like it's a 4K. We can check the big screen, the big listing. No, they would have the HDR logo on the front of this. So, they are putting out The Heretic. This is an October release. I'm sure they're going to list more features. Guys, I'm looking on the website right now. There is new commentaries by Lee Gambin, David Kittredge, director of forthcoming feature-length Exorcist 2 documentary Heretics. So there's going to be a new documentary called Heretics coming out, apparently. I don't know if that's on this release, but there's also a new audio commentary with the screenwriter and author Kelly Goodner and film historian Jim Hemphill. So there you go. That looks like it's the only thing that's new that's listed, but again, they always say they're going to add more. The original version, and then there's the different version, you know, but this is a controversial movie. This is something I would only pick up if I can get some. I need to get more information about this, quite frankly. This was just announced. So usually Arrow is pretty good about updating their extras But for now, that's what we have. It's just, the artwork. I actually kind of like the artwork. I'm not even going to lie. So, guys, that is it. That is the news. A lot of controversy, a lot of unhappy people. Like, if you read the comments and a lot of those lists, the Elm Street 4Ks and stuff, they're not happy. So it's very interesting, guys. I mean, look, I'm really excited to see the movie in 4K above all else. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm gonna try to stay a little optimistic, but everybody's got their opinion, man, and I respect it. Everybody, has the right to voice their opinion, and that's America. That's the country we're in. Me personally, I think I'm hoping my fingers are crossed for the Zavi release, which is probably gonna come in like a hard shell box and all that. But maybe it'll be the same color, the same steel book, but the outer box will be different. We'll see. Time will tell. So there you have it, guys. If you have any questions that I can try to answer, please let me know down below. But for now, this is your old pal CHH saying, hey, we're getting Trick or Treat on 4K. That is pretty cool. We're getting Trick or Treat and Trick or Treat this Halloween. So thank you guys for watching. Your old pal CHH. Take care. Huge giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind the scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.